A young man from West Kerry has completed 24 marathons in just 24 days. In a remarkable test of endurance, Shane Finn ran over 1,000 kilometres in aid of Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Ireland, raising well over €100,000.
After the 24 marathons, the charity actually got some of their funding cut, which was very disappointing, and I was in Fairfield at the time when I got the news. I took it as a bit of a sign, I guess, really. I was in America and I was like, I was looking for something anyway, and I was like, it's a sign, I'm in America, it's got to be America, So I then went back to that coffee shop the next morning and opened up Google Maps, and I was like, America's a big country. I just wanted to start and finish with two big landmarks: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Golden Gate Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge. There's no shortcuts. It's one side of the continent of America to the other.
Somebody here connected me with Shane because we had similar stories.
He was telling me about his story and what he's working through and what he's gone through, and that gave me huge motivation.
We both like to push ourselves and see what we can do, but also we're both impacted by the cause as well. We both have that pushing us beyond what I would say typical people are pushed to.
So I ran my first marathon to try to raise money for Spina Bifida Ireland. So Spina Bifida Ireland is a charity. It's quite close to my heart, it's quite close to my family. My first cousin Mary, she lives with the condition, so obviously, growing up, I saw how life was really difficult for her and she had certain challenges. So I guess I always had that in the back of my mind growing up. Then when I turned 18, I was like, I'd love to run a marathon for Mary, and raise some money, and literally hasn't really stopped from there, to be honest,
4K for Cancer is an event of the Ulman Foundation. It happens every year. The Ulman Foundation, it's geared specifically towards young adults with cancer. I wanted to get involved because I am a cancer survivor. I wanted to give back, and it's a 49-day trip, and I thought to myself, when am I ever going to have 49 days off again in a row? It was college-age students. We all had similar stories, whether we were a survivor or we had someone who was close to us who was impacted, and we met in San Francisco. And 2 days later, we started running to Boston.
Yeah!
I would say it's hard, but it's nothing compared to going through treatment. That is the toughest thing to this day that I've ever done.
It's kind of hard for me sometimes when people are like, oh, what you're doing is crazy, and it's so hard and it's amazing and stuff. I was like, my cousin Mary is far tougher than me, and she'll be far tougher than I will ever be. I had flown from Ireland to New York before, which is 5.5 hours or so. I was on this plane for like 7 hours and we still hadn't gotten to San Francisco. I was like, what am I doing?
There was a period of 4 days where we went through Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and the Grand Tetons and Yellowstone, and those were my favorite days, absolutely. It was just different scenery I'd never seen before.
What baffled me was the sheer vastness of the country. I mean, there was one day in Kansas where the road was just dead straight for 98 miles. It didn't turn left, it didn't turn right, you couldn't see how far ahead the road was.
It's a very, very isolated area. We left the town in the morning and we didn't see a single town until we got to Austin, Nevada. Until the end of the night. It was like 170 plus miles. And we didn't see a town after that the next day until we got to the town for the night there. They call it the loneliest highway for a reason.
We had an idea, how about you and Ryan run together? He's training for this thing, and I was like, I would love that. I couldn't wait to run that 20 kilometers or 15 miles or whatever it was with Ryan that day. I didn't want to keep him waiting, and I was really looking forward to it. We got to Fairfield and Sacred Heart on day 35. On map and on paper, and if you're doing the math correctly, I was behind from day 3. I would finish biking, 180 miles at 7 p.m. I would eat my dinner and I would get my kit back on and do another hour just to try to take a chunk out of that. I just knew if I got to Sacred Heart I could finish. So in my mind that was almost my finish line, because I knew the last day I could do it. Even if my legs were broken, I could probably finish the last day.
It was in the middle of finals, so I was a little bit stressed, if I'm honest. But it was really awesome to get to chew his ear. I read up on him before the run and I was super impressed and got to ask him from his perspective, having literally just finished running and cycling across the country, what to expect and what he would do differently and what I should do to prepare in that last month or so before I start my journey.
he's a phenomenal guy, and I have a lot of respect for him. He's a very, very courageous young man. The most rewarding day has got to be day 36. You know, we left Sacred Heart that morning and I biked to the edge of Manhattan and I ran down into Brooklyn, and my family were there, Mary was there. It's been her dream for years to go to New York, and we got to make that happen. I wasn't late, I didn't miss her by a day or two. I arrived on the day I was meant to arrive, and that was definitely the most rewarding day, yeah, for sure.
It was really emotional. Of course, there was a team of 28 of us, and we didn't know each other before, but we had grown really close. We had that vulnerability where we talked about what brought us there and everything. So we were all just super filled with emotions, just mixed emotions about finishing, because we were happy to finish. We were tired. We were getting to that point where we just wanted it to end, kind of, because we were so tired, but we didn't want to say goodbye to each other because realistically, we're never all going to be in the same place again. In the mornings, we would do roll-off. We'd just count numbers. So everyone had their own number in the morning, 1 through 28. So whatever day of the month it is, if it's your number, you just send an update to the group. So every day it's someone different. Like my number is 22. On the 22nd of October, I'll send a life update to 19.
It might have taken me 36 days to cross America, but it's taken, Mary's been fighting for 36 plus years.
Sacred Heart is all about helping others and promoting equality and helping others when you have the ability to do so. It was a lot less about the running than it was about the volunteering. Yeah, we were pushing ourselves, but in the end, it was about connecting the communities between the towns we were running through.